Kingston. It's said to be the heartbeat of Jamaica, the capital that is rich and diverse in cultural offerings and work opportunities. On today's edition of Jamaica Magazine, it's all about the city. First, what's happening by the container terminal, then a famous church, and later, work to enhance Kingston allure and beauty. I'm Adrian Atkinson. The news right after this message.
Get legal advice for free. Yes, free! From the Mobile Justice Unit. The Mobile Justice Unit makes scheduled stops in towns across the country, and the unit is open for stops at community meetings and school expos. Get free consultation on matters to do with land, immigration, divorce, job redundancy or termination, custody and maintenance. The Mobile Justice Unit, providing access to timely justice outcomes. To request a visit, contact the Legal Aid Council, 131 Tower Street, downtown Kingston, or call them at 922-3761.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Friday, March 31. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is now in receipt of the final report from the CARICOM Review Commission. Mr. Holness received the report yesterday from Chairman of the Commission, former Prime Minister Bruce Golding. The commission was set up by Prime Minister Holness last year to examine Jamaica's role in CARICOM and how the regional bloc has impacted the country's development. In doing its work, the 17-member body and its staff met with several stakeholder groups, including former prime ministers in the region and former secretaries general of CARICOM. The CARICOM Review Commission also held focus group sessions with Jamaicans across several parishes. The Prime Minister and the Cabinet are expected to review the resulting document and its recommendations prior to it being tabled in Parliament. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is reassuring tourism stakeholders that government's plans to de-earmark direct funding to some public bodies will not rob the sector of funding. Under this public financial management policy, central government will have control over how all its resources are allocated and spent. Tourism players have raised concerns that the industry could be affected when the central government controls the Tourism Enhancement Fund. But Mr. Holness is reiterating that the administration will ensure that tourism development plans continue to be financed and facilitated.
It's not the intention of the government to plunder any reserves or any funds that have been gained by sector industries and interests. That's not the intention. But good fiscal management of the country's resources dictate that there has to be greater central direction, and there in no way could the government pursue a policy that would be inimical to the development of the tourism industry.
Prime Minister Holness was speaking at Thursday's groundbreaking for Excellence Oyster Bay at Blue Waters, Trelawney. The 325-room hotel will be opened in the second half of 2018. It's expected that 1,500 jobs will be created during the construction phase and another 700 when the hotel opens its doors. The planned resumption of operations at the Alpart bauxite plant in St. Elizabeth remains on track.
Our target is we want to get to the start on 18th of June, so it will be happen.
That update from GISCO's senior engineer came on Thursday, following a tour of the plant by Transport and Mining Minister Mike Henry.
I was very pleased to see workers now back in the tool shop, seeing things begin to happen. I'm happy to see the Chinese workers working alongside the Jamaicans and keeping the ratio and the numbers together, but equally drawing on their knowledge where it relates.
Production at Alpart was halted in 2009 in the aftermath of the global recession and a drop in metal prices. Previously owned and operated by the Russian company UC Rusal, it was officially handed over to the Chinese company Jiquan Iron and Steel on November 24 last year. Since GISCO's takeover, about 400 persons have been hired, including the 80 plant maintenance staff that existed since the closure. Minister Henry says he expects that number to increase to about 700 by the opening. Government is proceeding with plans to build a new accident and emergency A&E unit at the Percy Junior Hospital in Spalding, Manchester. Minister of Finance Audley Shaw, who is also the Member of Parliament, says the National Health Fund has committed approximately $30 million to undertake the project. While voicing his commitment to release those funds in a timely manner, the minister said the hospital's management had a role to play.
I want to see now what is the effective timetable. When do you want the first drawdown from the National Health Fund? What is the program? How we move forward?
He also urged the hospital management and other health stakeholders to engage the diaspora to support the expansion project.
Let's use the technology that is available to us. Come on, let's get a special website going. Let us get a special bank account. Let us put the transfer information that can get the money transferred from the United States, England, Canada, transferred into that special account for Percy Junior Hospital.
Minister Shaw was speaking at the hospital on Tuesday as the facility received $500,000 to help purchase a compact blood bank refrigerator valued at just over $1 million. The money was provided by the Jamaica Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors Limited, and the Southern Regional Health Authority will be providing the rest of the funds needed. And finally, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, has received pledges of support from several public and private sector entities to expand the reach of its iPad Youth Empowerment and Mentorship Camp. iPad, which is an acronym for Identity, Purpose, Attitude and Destiny, was rolled out in Westmoreland in 2015 to provide social intervention for young people. Acting Commissioner of Police, Novlet Grant, is calling for even more private sector support.
Because we don't just want to train police facilitators to be able to take the message to students. We want other persons to come on board with us within a framework, within a concept of conversing with youth. Rather than telling them what is wrong, show them potential of what is right and what is possible.
ACP Grant was speaking on Wednesday at the JCF Corporate Sponsorship Breakfast held at the Terra Nova All Suite Hotel. She said the aim for summer 2017 was to host up to 6 camps across the island, engaging more than 600 young people. The Jamaica Information Service is among the sponsors, and Chief Executive Officer Donna Marie Rowe extended commendation and affirmed her agency's commitment to the initiative. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
Do you want to know more about the Jamaica Logistics Sub-Initiative? What of the proposed transshipment port at Goat Islands? Or the jobs to be provided when the hub is fully implemented? Then sign up for the Logistics 101 training course. This free course is available when groups or organizations make a request.
The Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce website, the Logistics Hub Task Force, and you can register. As long as you have a cohort, we'll take it to you.
Increase your awareness about logistics. Call 968-7116.
Kingston is considered to be one of the main transshipment hubs in the world. To expand the offerings in this area, the Kingston Container Terminal is being expanded. Watch this next feature for an in-depth look at the work being done.
The Port of Kingston, birthed in the Great Natural Harbour, the 7th largest in the world, continues to be an economic magnet on the global sphere. The port has been the hub of trade through several periods of development, from as far back as the 16th century.
Trading is the way to go for a small island state, and this is something that will take advantage of our geographical location. We happen to be blessed with a position that puts us in the right path. Although we sometimes forget that, but the Parish taught us that hundreds of years ago. This was the base.
Another renaissance is about to unfold in today's modern era of shipping and logistics, which is expected to make this port a critical axis for Jamaica's push towards sustainable economic growth.
We sit in the middle, geographic middle, of 800 million market. And that 800 million market is not only just 800 million population, it's the largest market in the world. North America, comprising the United States and Canada, is the single largest market in the world, and will remain so for a long time. We therefore have a very strategic advantage in terms of positioning where the Kingston Container Terminal will become the logistics center of the Caribbean region.
In July 2016, Kingston Freeport Terminal Limited, KFTL, took over operations of the Kingston Container Terminal, KCT, under a 30-year concession agreement. Kingston Freeport Terminal Limited is the local subsidiary of the French shipping company CMA CGM. The concession agreement gives KFTL the right to finance, expand, operate, and maintain the KCT for the duration of the contract. The divestment is already sparking significant investment in ports development.
It confirms clearly that to divest to the private sector under the required conditions, economic activity that is done better by the private sector is the right role we're taking, and we have to pursue it aggressively in all areas.
Since CMA CGM took over the port and began development activities, the container handling capacity has been increasing from 1.3 million 20-foot equivalent units, TEUs. And with expected new equipment for the expansion, the terminal capacity should soon reach over 3 million TEUs per year from the first phase of capital works. New, larger and more efficient ship-to-shore cranes with more container handling capacity is to be installed by the concessionaires, along with other critical works.
When we get to 5 million TEU, we will be a major player, and that's when you begin to get all the spin-off, and that's what we'd like to get. We are confident that CMA CGM, with the support of the institutions of government that they require, will get there, and you'll see a very dynamic economic activity around the Kingston port and in fact in the entire capital city.
According to the Chief Executive Officer of KFTL, Olivier Cretou, part of the overall terminal upgrade involves the build-out of a new information technology infrastructure supported by fiber optic cable.
You know, KFTL, Kingston Freeport Terminal Limited, we are competing with Panama, Caenwood, Cartagena, and other hubs in the region. And our target is nothing but being the number one.
The CEO has expressed his appreciation for the staff, which he says will be increased over time.
I keep repeating how proud I am to being the CEO of such an amazing team.
Work is progressing on the dredging of the Kingston Harbour under Phase 1 of the Kingston Container Terminal KCT expansion project. The expansion is to be completed by December 2018 and is being done at a cost of $150 million. It involves deepening the entry channel to the Kingston Harbour and reinforcing the quay walls at Port Bustamante to withstand the greater forces imposed by bigger ships. This is to allow access by the new Super Panamax vessels which are passing through the region from the Pacific Ocean, following the recent expansion of the Panama Canal.
So what we do 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, is do trips in between our dredge area and our dump area. And so what you will be able to see now is that we will lower the suction tube to the bottom of the sea, and then once your drag head, which is the let's say the final point of your suction tube, once it's on the bottom of the ocean, then we start dredging again.
After about 40 to 50 minutes when the hopper is full, it's time to sail the dredger to the dump area.
We sail inside the port 10 nautical miles, and then once we are outside we can increase the speed a little bit. So I think the distance is 15 miles. It's ongoing non-stop, about 8 trips, but it depends on the area.
The increased volume of ships to come into port will lead to spin-off industries supporting goods customization, reassembling of goods, and light manufacturing for near-market facilities.
The responsibility of the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation is to, through the Port Authority, is work closely with the concessionaire to ensure that all the other agents of government that impact on the activity will be aligned to ensure the project develops smoothly and efficiently and in a timely manner.
The Port of Kingston, developing as an axis for economic growth.
Si Marcia husband, him a one of the biggest juggies.
Wait, somebody a scream.
Lad, them a bund up rice to work and never pay the extortion money.
Who them man there? How them a do with Jackie little daughter? It's serious times. Speak up for justice and keep your eyes open. When you hear about any crime, report it. Silence brings violence.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Tomorrow is Sabbath for some, while others may worship on Sunday. Whichever day you choose to give praise, the capital boasts several beautiful churches, offering a comfortable place for worship. Take a look at this particular religious center.
It's been twice built, and after a more than 300-year history, still stands as a monument of fine architectural achievement and the resilience of a city and its people. On the afternoon of Monday, January 14, 1907, the residents of Jamaica's capital city found themselves under an avalanche of dust clouds and falling rubble, jarred loose from buildings rocked by a 6.5 magnitude earthquake. The damage was all-encompassing and left many questioning the future of the city. But in the months and years that followed, Kingston and Kingstonians began laying the foundation for a sturdier, more resilient city. The Church of St. Thomas the Apostle was one of the institutions to find new life after the devastation of 1907. From that point on, it would stand as the Kingston Parish Church. In 1911, the Anglican Church, which stands on the corner of South Parade and King Street, was consecrated after being built on the foundations of the structure destroyed in 1907. Its predecessor, which had served as the state church of the island since the 17th century, is believed to have been built in or before 1699. The new concrete structure of the 20th century was designed to reflect the style of the original, with the exception of a clock tower added in memory of those who died in World War I. It is this clock that is said to be the inspiration for the popular phrase describing Kingstonians as people born under the clock. The Kingston Parish Church is a study in the best that Georgian architecture has to offer. Its gleaming white edifice with the cross-shape, high steeple and bell tower is framed by stained glass windows dating back to the 1700s. Beyond its architectural details, the Kingston Parish Church holds within its walls many relics and monuments that detail interesting developments and personalities that have shaped the history of the capital. One of its most iconic features is the imposing organ said to have been built in 1722. Statues of St. Mary and St. Thomas, donated by the Chinese and Syrian communities, are among many gifts from prominent Jamaican families that adorn the church's altar. A French chalice from 1689 and a collection of church plates from 1701 find a home beside artwork and sculptures from some of Jamaica's best. Among its monuments is one in memory of John Woolmer, a wealthy Kingston goldsmith who left money in his will to build a free school in the city. And soldiers of the West Indian regiments who died during the colonial wars are remembered in marble plaques on the site. For more than 300 years, from so-called commoners to royalty, this church has been the point of worship for generations of Kingstonians, bearing witness to many of Jamaica's historic milestones.
Join the fight. Quit smoking for life.
Every capital deserves a sprucing up every now and then. The Urban Development Corporation is collaborating with a number of private and public entities to revive the look and appeal of City Kingston. Watch this.
1962 marked the beginning of a proud and free era of independence for Jamaica. This tiny yet Talawa nation was now free to create its own destiny. 6 years later, the Urban Development Corporation was created to make development happen when and where it's needed within the context of national priorities. One such area was the Kingston waterfront from Bank of Jamaica to the east to the Kingston Craft Market in the west. A post-independent Jamaica and by extension Kingston was by no means fully developed, and so by walking the streets of the capital city, one would see and learn much about Jamaica, its history and culture. Downtown Kingston in particular tells that story very well, having given birth to rocksteady and reggae music. With many of the island's most historic buildings and monuments lining the streets, downtown Kingston is also a bustling business district with busy roadways and crowded sidewalks. This rich history is one such impetus for the Urban Development Corporation UDC, which has been spearheading the development of downtown Kingston. Partnering with both local and international organizations, plans are underway towards championing the transformation of downtown and revitalizing the area while paying homage to the UNESCO designation as Kingston, a creative music city. In 1995, the UDC was entrusted with its tax incentive program, and that pulled investments in the downtown Kingston area. A major investor is the multinational corporation Digicel, which constructed its global headquarters on prime waterfront property sold by the UDC. Other developments that have gained traction include the construction of Grace Kennedy's multi-story complex on Port Royal Street, made possible on lands sold to them by the UDC. Grace also renovated a building on Harbour Street for use as its financial center. And nearby, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade is finalizing plans for the construction of its headquarters on property along the Kingston waterfront, close to the Jamaica Stock Exchange, on lands made available by the UDC. The redevelopment of downtown is being guided by the UDC's Downtown Kingston and Port Royal Redevelopment Plan 2030. It's being implemented on a phase-by-phase basis and is aligned with the Vision 2030 Jamaica National Development Plan. This redevelopment plan is giving energy to an updated development order for Kingston as well as guidelines for land use and zoning. Aspects of the UDC plan already in motion include the construction of a bus park, one component of a multimodal transport center for the city. There's also the upgraded St. William Grant Park and the redevelopment of the National Heroes Park. Over in the Market District, significant development is evident with the build-out of the Chapel Lane Market. The UDC took another step in partnering with Digicel and the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation, the KSAC, to ensure electrical upgrades were completed on the reconstructed Coronation Market. The UDC sees downtown Kingston as the city of possibilities, the ideal location for work, home, leisure, cultural immersion, and entertainment.
Thank you, Lord, for what you've done for a woman like me.
UDC's Fireworks on the Waterfront is a fixed event that's being used by the UDC to promote family entertainment and stimulate an active nightlife in downtown Kingston. Adding to this is the construction of Festival Marketplace by the UDC, an eatery space catering to day and night patrons who will also benefit from the nearby craft market. And for a more in-depth cultural experience, there's the newly renovated Simon Bolivar Cultural Center in the heart of Parade, designed and built by the UDC. The center complements other cultural facilities located in the Parade area, such as Liberty Hall, the restored headquarters of national hero, the Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey. The Urban Development Corporation, demonstrating commitment to the redevelopment of downtown Kingston. To learn more about the work of the Urban Development Corporation, call 656-8031 or visit their website at udcja.com. You may also follow the UDC on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, or visit their information center on the ground floor, Kingston Mall, downtown Kingston.
Inform yourself about the HTLV1 infection. HTLV1 means human T-cell lymphotropic virus type 1. It's not the AIDS virus, but they are contracted in a similar fashion. You can get the virus from having unprotected sexual intercourse, getting blood that has the virus in it, breastfeeding, and sharing injection needles with HTLV1 infected persons. These are a few of the signs and symptoms of the virus: skin rashes, swollen lymph nodes, backaches, difficulty in passing urine, sensation in the feet, weakness in the legs, and reduced sex drive. If you have any of these signs or symptoms, you should see a doctor. For further information, please contact the HTLV Project, Department of Pathology at the University of the West Indies, Mona, Kingston 7 at 977-1958 or 927-1620-9.
Earlier in the show, we took you to church and showed you what's coming for Kingston. There are more plans for the town, particularly the communities nearest to its waterfront.
Before us, you have the Kingston Harbour. Most oftentimes, the Kingston Harbour has a few ships and boats. Our intention is to fill the Kingston Harbour.
The Ministry of Tourism is also leading the charge to restore Kingston Harbour as a premier cruise ship port, while the Tourism Product Development Company TPD Co. is assisting beautification works in the capital. St. William Grant Park is getting its fair share of attention as persons have been employed to maintain the park. There is also Wi-Fi accessibility. The sanitary conveniences have been renovated. Security has been enhanced and the fountain is being rehabilitated. So much is happening in Kingston. Remember, this is all part of government's plan to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. This is where we close the pages for today's show. Remember, the information continues to flow on our social media pages. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You may also visit our webpage, jis.gov.jm, or our YouTube channel. Feel free to download our app from the Google Play Store. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Have yourselves a great weekend.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.